How are you guys doing today? So first, before we get into this video, I want to talk about the Battle After War. It's a fundraising event we have going on to help veterans. Every donation directly helps a veteran in need, either by getting them a haircut, shave, bus passes, food, but also the overall fundraising goal accomplishes an event that will be able to get veterans help. It is an event that will have speakers and performances and pamphlets and information to not just give them something and send them on their merry way, but to keep them with us, to keep them in our hearts, to keep them with the information that they need and help them every step of the way till they can get themselves off of the street. So you guys can find that pinned on my page. Second thing I want to talk about really quick is if you guys have a lot of problems with Twitter, if you're feeling like you just can't get your voice out, you can always move on. I'm always going to stay on Twitter, and I'm sure you will too. But there is Gab. As you can see here, this is just literally on the random thing on my front page. You know, freedom of speech. There's a lot of people that probably agree with you and want to talk to you. So you head over to gab.ai if you guys want to do that. But now let's get into what we're here for. And what we're here for is the misinformation that's being sent out by the media. The misinformation that's being sent out by the media frustrates me on such a high level. So you got to look at CNN. And the reason you have to look at CNN is because CNN leads the way in misinformation. The first ad from CNN, let's click on it and see what it says. Yeah, it gives you very little details, does not give names of any of the victims, does not give the state of the person that's in care. Then you go down and you read what it says here. This is where the misinformation, the mistrust, and the lies to try to trick you and inform you on things that aren't true comes into play. The school has metal detectors and school resource officers were on site at the time of the shooting. Awesome. Great that they were on site at the time of the shooting. What does that mean? What does that mean for us? This shooting supposedly was an accidental shooting. 2 shots went off. Bang, bang. What was the school resource officer supposed to do? From all intelligible things, since it did not continue going, I would say that having school resource officers may have even stopped it. We don't know the information. But putting that on there is what? To try to get people saying, look, armed guards, schools resource officers, that's not going to solve the problem. That's why they put that there. So then you look at the other part of the statement. Metal detectors. The school has metal detectors. Okay, cool. So I wanted to find out some information about the school has metal detectors. I wasn't going to just let CNN decide what my news was, right? So I looked into it a little bit. You see here, it says you visited this page 2 times today. So let's click it. Now, watch this video. I'm going to skip ahead to the part that we need. But in this video, we got to wait for an ad. Don't worry about the ad. I'll keep talking while the ad goes. So in the video, which I will show you, it tells you that the school administration has acknowledged that they do have metal detectors, but those metal detectors were not in use that day. Okay, let's figure out why they have metal detectors. Probably because it's a high rate area where crime has been occurring in the school. Why are they not using the metal detectors? Well, maybe because people have been pushing that metal detectors are scary and they're making us feel unsafe. Well, I'm sorry. I'd rather you have a metal detector and actually be protected than you feel unsafe because you have to walk through a metal detector. Kind of similar with the backpacks. Oh, we feel unsafe with clear backpacks. Why? The clear backpacks are put into place so that you feel safe. It makes no sense. What is so important in your backpack as a kid that you can't have it? So that's the shooter. It says here, Birmingham City school officials acknowledged that Huffman High has 2 metal detectors, but the devices were not in use the day of the shooting. Okay, they were not in use. So CNN, why are you putting here that they have metal detectors? Because you're trying to put a narrative out there. You're trying to let people click on CNN, which you know they love to do. The liberals, the lefts, the people that are pushing against guns, they're going to click on this. This is the first ad by CNN. They're going to look into it, and they're going to say, wow, the school resource officer was there. See, that doesn't fix things. Exactly what was the school resource officer going to do in 10 seconds? What happened after? Nothing. So how is that your argument? Oh, well, there's metal detectors. They weren't in use. But CNN won't tell you that. They post a video here of Chief Orlando Wilson. And Chief Orlando Wilson, very, very quaint guy. Not sure what side he's on. I haven't looked into him, but he was very unwilling to release any information. The only information that we got was that they were black, and that was from him. Now, I don't know why, but I will say that I think people on the right, Fox, when you go, let's see what Fox has to say. Oh, you can't find Fox on this. Isn't that amazing? That I found Fox earlier, and it had some really good information on it, and now Fox isn't even on the front page. It's not on the second page. Fox News isn't on Google about the Alabama shooting. And I made an article because I found it earlier. Where is it? Third page. Where the hell is a right-leaning news source on this? Okay, we found it 5 pages down at the bottom. Officials, metal detectors not in use the day of the Alabama school shooting. Awesome. There was another thing by Fox, I wish I could find it, and on it, it showed pictures of the people, their names, the victims. It had better details. Why would they have better details if Fox is so loving guns and they don't want to do anything that will push people away from wanting guns? Because they want the truth out. It's not about whether or not the truth fits our narrative. The truth is the truth. And that is what I want to see when I go on the news. I want to see the truth. People on the right, gun owners, responsible gun owners, know that speaking the truth will always win, because guess what? Banning guns isn't the solution. Using the tools that were given to you by your school, by the government. I'm pretty sure they didn't pay for those damn metal detectors on their own dime. So what does that mean? And I am reading your comments now, guys. Sorry about that. I was a little, you get a little frustrated. But what does that mean? Why would you guys accept these free things? You want protection, but then you don't use it. And then when you don't use it and something happens, because this easily preventable crime, if you would have used your metal detectors, would have been stopped. And you say, oh, well, maybe they just didn't use them that day. Oh, yeah? Maybe they didn't just use them that day. So the one day that they decided not to use metal detectors was the one day that this 11th grade football star decided to bring a gun into school, and he thought he wouldn't get caught. He thought, maybe today they won't have metal detectors. No. He never has to go through that metal detector. He never is at risk of getting caught. We don't know why he had a gun. We don't know if he had a gun to protect himself. We don't know. We have to wait for that details to come out. But it doesn't matter what his motives were at this point when you're pushing a narrative saying that there was metal detectors, but the metal detectors weren't in use. The narrative of that is to trick us, is to try to manipulate the story. And I'm tired of the manipulation of the story. This story wasn't even on the news that I could tell. I did not know about this until someone posted in my on my Twitter page and informed me about it. I had to Google it myself and find out information about it. When I Googled it, I found out all these contradictory stories, how the left is pushing this agenda, how I can't even now find a Fox source, a right-leaning source on it until I go 5 pages down into Google. Seems suspicious. So, then you got to look at other things that they're hiding, other things they're not talking about. Another thing that I did not know about until someone told me on Twitter, the Monster car attack. Muenster, I'm not sure how you say it. I like Monster cheese, which comes from there, but whatever. We're going to get back to being serious. A van attack, 2 dead, 20 injured. That is a terrorist attack. That is aggression. You don't just accidentally press the gas and go kill 2 people and injure 20. They were mowing people down. Are we going to call that an assault van? When all the knifings are happening by Muslims in the UK, when rapes are happening in Sweden and Switzerland by Muslim migration, are we going to call those assault knives and assault rapes? Or are we going to just focus on why these things are occurring? That's the issue. That's what needs to be talked about. Why are these things occurring? But the reason these things don't come on your news is because these stories, these articles bring the question. We know that the motive is unknown. I'm not saying that that person was a terrorist of Muslim or this, that, but it was a terrorist attack. It was a terrorist. In the end of the day, if you run down 2 people and killed and injured 20 more, that's a terrorist attack to me. But anyways, these things need to be reported on and talked about. We have to take it seriously. The reason these things aren't in the news, the reason these things are not on CNN blasted 24/7 is because they beg the question. You look at the YouTube shooter. All of the information, all social media sites from the YouTube shooter was deleted the night of. In no other instance of a person who has shot up a place, done a violent crime, has their social media platforms been completely eliminated and deleted within a few hours. Why is that? You could say, well, they're doing it because it happened to be an attack on them. I don't think that's the case. I think if you had an attack on your place, you would want more information out there. You would want people to be able to see how crazy of a person it was. But that's not the case. The person was not crazy. The person had done something that you guys want to hide. The same things that you guys are doing, the left is doing to conservative voices, we now know because of this shooter that they are doing it to any voice that goes against their pocketbook. Any voice that doesn't work with the big business and government democratic officials that are supporting them and pushing their agenda. Thank you, and I hope I get to see what he archived. These things need to be reported on. They need to be talked about. Please have him send me the info. I would really like to see it. But these things need to be reported on. That's why I'm here reporting on it. I'm not giving you every single detail and every single fact, but I am out here to let you guys know that these things are here. So we as people can go and look up the information. We can't rely on Fox. We can't rely on CNN. We can't rely on MSNBC. We need to rely on ourselves. The information is out there. But as you can see, when I tried to search up something, it takes time to dig down. The swamp cleaner, all right, I will DM you after. It takes time to dig down, find the inconsistency, things that make your mind go, this doesn't make sense. And speaking of not making sense, I know I talked about it. I had a longer video, but I want to just put this into this video in a shorter way. If you look at the information that came out from the Parkland shooting, I live over here. I Ubered. Look, pretty similar situation. Hey, how you doing, Vic? If you Uber somebody, you can easily go on your phone and you can see the last 20 trips and you can see exactly where you picked them up, exactly where you dropped them off. Where is that information? Why don't we have that? Wouldn't you think the Uber driver would want to sell that information? What? Fox wouldn't buy that? No organization would buy that? Not even InfoWars? Somebody would buy that information. Why is it not there? Because was there an Uber driver? Then you got to think, when I was an Uber driver, we have cameras in our car. Why do we have cameras in our car? In case something happens. In case somebody says that we raped them. In case somebody says that we were harassing them. So why is there no footage? If I had footage, I would sell that too. Okay, so then move on. Why was there no footage of the person getting out of an Uber car, walking to a school with a backpack that was supposedly full of military-grade armor that's supposed to weigh a whole lot of weight, that it took 3 people to carry it out of the school, 3 SWAT members to carry it out of the school. Then he carried that, guns, everything, walked into school. No camera footage, no footage of him walking into the school, no footage of him walking into the building, no footage of him changing inside the building, and no footage of him leaving the building. Everybody knew his name, even though he wore mask. Supposedly, he had full tactical gear with a helmet and a mask, and you couldn't see a single section of his skin, but you knew exactly who he was. Unanswered questions are becoming a very mainstream idea. Thank you, the swamp. Mainstream ideas. It's mainstream to just hide information. It's mainstream to not even look at any details and wonder why. If we were looking for a criminal, if somebody did something and disappeared, if someone shot a Democratic leader, every little bit of information to find that person will be put out. There would be 100 pieces of footage. There would be hundreds of things. If there was a real person that walked in and shot up a place with an assault rifle, especially a big old white man, there would be a whole bunch of footage of that to try to push a liberal agenda. So why is that video footage not being pushed out there? Wouldn't the left, who wants to ban guns or at least ban assault rifles, want people to see how scary and destructive it looks for a person to walk in with an assault rifle? That would be a big message. And that is a good point, Deborah. Like another video. He knew who the shooter was while he was in the closet 10 minutes after the shooting occurred? How? Please inform me on how you, David Hogg, could figure out that much information in 5 seconds. While you're supposed to be scared for your life, you're recording videos, interviewing people inside of a closet. They're talking about diversity and how money shouldn't buy politics and the NRA. 6-7 minutes after a shooting that they're not even sure is over yet? Seems very suspicious. And John, you just turned in, so I didn't say that there was a hoax. Like I said, I live right in Parkland. I know kids died. I know the families that suffered. It's not about saying that these things didn't occur. It's about questioning why details, pertinent information is being hidden from civilians. People who are supposed to be informed to be able to vote on issues such as guns, gun rights, gun violence, can't even have the proper information. And see, this is what the left does. If you look at what John is saying on here, saying, oh, the kids just killed themselves. Do I look like I've said that once? Watch 5 minutes back. You'll see I've not said it at all, but that's what they do. You have an argument. You have something that seems plausible. You have some information, and you know what they do? Instead of saying, let's look into it. Let's see what you're talking about. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. What, did they kill themselves? Oh, they're all hiding. Oh, what did the government do? Put them in witness protection and move them somewhere? No, people are dead. But the question is, why are there so many weird things that happened? Why are there so many unanswered questions? Why during the YouTube shooting were officers, when you watch on CBS, go watch the CBS live feed that was put out. Why were officers casually walking around during the shooting, not even looking like they were worried about someone popping up? But at the same time, everybody's saying, oh, there may be 2 shooters. They don't know where the shooters are. If I'm a cop and I know that there's a shooter, especially with all the shootings that are supposedly happening with these AR-15s, right? And there's supposedly a man with an AR-15. Why would I just be walking nonchalantly? I'm not putting the theories out. I'm putting the information out. I'm questioning what happened. And then I am allowing you guys to open up your minds and try to figure it out too. We have Texas bombings that aren't on the news. The bomber barely got any coverage. Yet he could have killed anyone with those bombs. He used tripwires that were hit by a bike. A little 2-year-old kid, 4-year-old kid could have been walking down the sidewalk and blown up. But yet that wasn't important enough to put on the news. The monster van attack, barely any coverage. I didn't even know about it. Alabama shooting. Now you have to look at Alabama shooting. You got to go, was it because there's no coverage because they were black? Or was there no coverage because it doesn't fit the agenda? It doesn't fit the mold that they want to push out there. It wasn't a white man with an AR-15. It was a black man with a pistol. That's the one thing that the left doesn't want to put out there. Can't be black people, can't be Muslims, can't be a pistol, can't be a woman, but that's what's happening. Women are shooting, black men are shooting, pistols are being used, but the only thing being talked, bombs are being placed, vans are being driven into places, a car was driven into the Broward Sheriff's Office, into a meeting room, but the only thing we talk about, the only thing that's important is one shooting? Because it was a white man with an AR-15? Because that fits the agenda? That is scary? That is what you can push to ban something? You ban one thing. What did they say? What did they say at March of Our Lives? We are going to wait till they give us an inch so that we can take a mile. But we're crazy. We're insane for thinking that you want to ban our guns, to take away our Second Amendment right. We're crazy for that. We're conspiracy theorists. We're exaggerating. Seems weird when the same people that are calling us conspiracy theorists, exaggerators, and overreactors are the same people who said that our president, when he was still president-elect, was going to come into office and take away all gay rights, was going to be the next Hitler, was going to start World War III, was going to do all these crazy things, was going to be a dictator. Those don't seem a little bit far-fetched, a little crazy, a little bit conspiracy? It does to me. But that's just my opinion on the situation. So hopefully, if you still are watching, the point of this all is to say, look at these things. Look at why CNN is telling us that there was metal detectors, yet we know that the metal detectors weren't in use. Tell us why they are talking about resource officers when there's no time for the resource officers to even respond when it was 2 shots supposedly accidentally fired. Why are they pushing an agenda so hard to one side if they don't want the end result? No, Deborah, you're not paranoid. The thing about paranoia is a lot of times it turns out to not be paranoia, but fear for what comes. So I hope that we can at least open up a true dialogue. What do you want to ban? Is it an assault rifle? And if it is, why are all the shootings since Parkland not been an assault rifle? So if you still want to stop those shootings, do we want to talk about a real solution on stopping those shootings? Do we want to talk about how to maybe fix mental health issues? How to, do something efficiently as police officers when you're getting warnings? Do we want to talk about counseling? Being nice to people? Seeing warning signs? Or do we want to ban the guns that are being used? And if you want to ban the guns that are being used, then you want to ban pistols. You want to ban hunting rifles. You want to ban every single gun. So either be honest, we can fight you, we can debate you on a fair, honest platform. If we know the rules, if we know what we're fighting for and fighting against. But if you lie and you say we want one thing so you can get that little inch so that we can back down on one tiny thing so that you can then exaggerate it, exasperate it, and make it to where that you can do exactly what you really want to do, but you want to lie to us, well, I'm not going to allow it. I'm not going to sit quietly while you call me paranoid. I'm not going to sit quietly while you call me a conspiracy theorist. No. I am going to show that you are trying to do what you are trying to do. I'm going to put the information out there, let people decide for themselves what exactly the left wants to do. And the left wants to silence me. The left wants to silence us. You can look at what Jack just put on Twitter, saying that the read of you have to pick a side on social media and they have to censor something. He put that on his thing. The CEO of Twitter. Be honest. Tell the truth. Let's have honest debate. Let's figure out what the solution is. Because the day that you try to ban our guns, there's 2 things that are going to happen. A, you're going to try to have to take them by force, and you will lose that fight. And B, if by some crazy miracle we just hand over all our guns, 10 years from that day, when people are still dying because people who want to hurt somebody will find a way. People who are mentally unstable will do what they want to do no matter how and how long and how hard it takes to do it. And you will realize that taking our guns did nothing but allow criminals to walk straight into our house and murder, steal, rob, and rape our families. That will be all you have accomplished. So good luck trying to take my gun. Good luck trying to let a criminal walk into my house. You will not be responsible for my child, my wife, or my family to ever be hurt. I will never let that happen. And if it's between making you my enemy, Well, then I guess that's what's going to happen. So be honest. Tell us the truth. Let's figure out how we can solve this problem. And let's stop all these violent crimes. Let's stop rape. Let's stop murder. Let's stop calling it what it's not. We don't live in a rape culture society because that politicizes rape. We don't live in a place where guns are the problem because guns stop crimes. And we don't live in a world full of hating Nazi scum like I was just called today. Look at my last video. I had my 3 little cousins or nephews playing whatever dumb game they were playing. Watch it. Then try to come back and call me a Nazi. Good luck. Everybody that watched it, I love you guys. Thanks, Deborah, for mentioning it. Thanks, Swamp, for giving me some more information. I will always be out here. Tomorrow, I won't be able to post any videos about this type of stuff. I'm actually going to be going out giving haircuts to veterans. You know me, that Nazi that gives veterans haircuts and brings them food. Yep. So, I'll be going to do that while the left calls me a Nazi and tries to get my videos banned. One more time about that, though. You guys can donate. It's on my pinned tweet. All right, guys. See you later.